Hello everyone and welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. This week I've got something a little bit different for you. I'm going to be making a basic card today, and then tomorrow there'll be a second part of the video and it will show you how to step the card up just a little bit, make it a bit more fancy. I'm going to use the art gallery set and I'm using these flowers, this set of leaves, this is the little centre for the flowers, and the happy birthday sentiment. Let's put that one out of the way, and this is going to be almost like a card topper. A long time ago when I first started crafting, I used to buy card toppers where somebody had already pre-made these kind of pieces and they'd maybe put little embellishments on, and you would buy just a set of these and then make your cards with them. Well, I don't buy card toppers anymore, I make my own. And I've made half a dozen of these, just these pieces. And I'm going to use one today and one tomorrow. But let me show you how I made it first. I used the dies from this Stitched So Sweetly set, and I've used the two largest. I haven't used any of the sentiments or anything, just the dies. I've used sentiments from the art gallery set, the little happy birthday, but I've also used a sentiment from this Punch Party set. And this is one that's a celebration set. And if you host a party or you have a larger order, you can get this set, and it matches lots of our other things. It matches the postage stamp punch, the oval punch, and some of the heart dies. And I just loved this one sentiment, sending you smiles for every moment of your special day. And that's what I'm going to use on the inside of my card. I don't always stamp a sentiment inside, but that one, I just loved it. So that one it's going to be. Let me just move these out of the way. Okay. Now, I've started with a piece of basic white, and I used the second largest of those stitched scalloped, stitched scalloped rectangles, and I just cut it out before I even started to stamp, and that's so that I know exactly how much room I've got to stamp this. I'm going to find a little piece of paper to put on here, just a little piece of scrap, and I've already got my stamps and my inks ready. I've got Flirty Flamingo for the main part of the flower, and the larger flower is the base of the flower. So that's the one I'm going to use, and I'm just going to ink it up with my Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to stamp it off because I don't want it too strong. And then I'm going to put it onto my little cutout piece just at an angle. And because I've already cut that out, I know where the edges are going to be. It just makes it a bit easier. Then I'm going to get the next piece of the stamp set, which is the highlight piece. And again, I'm using that Flirty Flamingo, but I'm going to use it full strength. It does give you just a tiny little bit of definition. I just have to put my glasses on. So I'm not at a good angle here. So I'm just going to move that down a little bit. I can't always see because of the camera, but there we go. I try and use that little hole in the centre to line everything up. Okay. You can see that on this one, I stamped off quite a lot first time, and then this one was a little bit darker. But on here, it's much darker, and that's how I really wanted it the first time. Then I've got Poppy Parade, and I'm going to do just the little centre in Poppy Parade. So that will be darker still. Okay, that's how I wanted it. Okay, so that's all of that stamping. Next, I've got, on too big a block, I've got my leaves, and I'm going to stamp those in Mossy Meadow. And this way I know what kind of an angle I need and how much of my leaves are going to stamp. I need to leave a space at the bottom for the sentiment, And I found that when I was just freehand stamping and I didn't have the white pieces already pre-cut, I tended to leave not quite enough room. So this way I know I've got enough room. I've got my tuxedo black and my happy birthday. Just tap, tap, tap. I'm just going to line it up at the bottom. There we go. Now, there are lots of other sentiments in this stamp set that fit, but I just wanted to make it a happy birthday one. So that, I love that much better because I've got more definition between these colours. But I'll probably use my old ones up as well that I've made. Now, I've also cut out with the larger stitched rectangle, I've cut out in Mossy Meadow and I've just backed that. Now this one's not quite dry, so I'm going to use this one on the card, but I will be backing that another time with some more of the Mossy Meadow. And while I had those stamps out, I've also decorated my envelope so that it matches, and I've also decorated a piece that's going to go inside our card. And I put that little flower and then that little sentiment that I showed you from the Punch Party set. And the little flowers on there, I just coloured them in with a Flirty Flamingo blend and a little Old Olive blend. Okay, so let me show you what kind of a card we are making. It's actually going to be a gatefold card. So gatefolds are really easy to make. They just fold slightly differently. Instead of having the whole of your card fold in half, you fold the two edges into the middle. And if you check on my blog, you'll have all the sizings and everything on there. But these pieces here, I tend to just score one of them and fold it in, and then hold the other one in so I know I get it right in the middle, and then push it down with my bone folder. But if you wanted, you could do it both at the same time, and you would score 2 1/8 inches at this side, turn it over and score 2 1/8 inches at that side. Okay. Now, I've also used some of our basic white and popped it through one of the embossing folders. And this one is the Dainty Diamonds one. You could use lots of different embossing folders, and if you didn't want to emboss, you could just use a piece of Designer Series paper on there as well. And this is cut just slightly smaller, so you've got just that 1/4 inch gap, and then that fits on there beautifully. Once it's embossed, I like to use liquid glue to stick it down, because I find that sometimes if you use maybe the snail, then if it's a deeply embossed piece, you don't always get the adhesion on the deeply embossed piece. Okay, so we're just going to put these on these front edges. It's really easy to line up. If I'm making a batch of cards, I often do a set of toppers, and that way I know, let's turn that around, I think it goes that way, yeah. That way I know that I'm not making the front of a card. Every time I want to make one card, I don't have to start and make the front and do all the stamping again. I find it easier to do all my stamping first and get all of those pieces ready, so that when I'm making a card, I've got all the tops ready and I can just pop them on easily. It's just a time saver for me. Now, where's my little piece that I want for the middle? Okay, so this little piece that we pre-stamped, oops, this is going to go in the middle of our card. And as you can see, the gatefold card means that when you open each side, then you get to see the centre of the card. So it's more of a reveal type of card as well. Okay, and then we have our little topper that we made, and I'm going to put this on the front, and I've already put some tear and tape on. Now, I've only put 3 strips on. It doesn't go quite to the middle or quite to the centre, and that way I know that I'm not going to have any adhesive sort of sticking out or visible, or it's not going to stick to the inside of the card. Okay, so I'm going to close my card up, and then I'm just going to pop this right in the middle. Stick it down at that left hand side, and there you are. That's your gatefold card all ready. And it's going to match with our beautiful envelope that we've already pre-made. Now that's a fast card to make, and you can make it with all sorts of things. You can do designer series paper and more designer series paper that you've cut out rather than stamped. You can make the front with that. You can use circles, squares, anything at all for this little overlapping piece. It's really an easy card to use and a great template to know. So that's part 1 of our card. Part 2, I'm going to show you how to make it into a lock and slide card. So join me again next time, and I'll show you how to step this up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all again really soon. Bye bye.